somebody's after me or if somebody's watching me, then they know enough about me to know that I have no fear of death.
Rapper Coolio, a 59-year-old, was found unresponsive at a friend's Los Angeles home last September. The rapper's family was informed today he died from a fentanyl overdose.
Coolio knew he was taking a big risk. He called out the music industry, speaking up when no one else dared. And just a few years later, he was gone. Now, we're left asking, did someone silence Coolio for revealing the music industry's secrets?
I've seen some crazy shit. I seen some crazy shit, bro. I seen some shit like, wow. I seen some shit that made me go, what the f***? Is this really happening right now?
This just proves that everything he said was true, but that's only scratching the surface. Beyond Coolio's words are layers of untold stories, rumors of bizarre rituals, manipulation of black artists, and industry secrets hidden in plain sight. Hollywood's most powerful, including Diddy, JayZ, and the so-called gay mafia, have allegedly held the reins behind the scenes for years, pulling strings few can even imagine.
Evil is winning right now. I don't know what y'all see from what I see.
Let's face it, in the hip-hop world, speaking out can cost you everything. Rumors have long circulated about who's really in control, and what's demanded of artists desperate to stay in the game. But it wasn't until Coolio, the man behind the legendary Gangsta's Paradise, started voicing his own experiences that people finally began to listen. Coolio wasn't just pointing out shady deals or typical industry manipulation. He was hinting at something deeper, darker, and far more dangerous. According to him, back when he was rising in fame, the elites didn't approach him directly. Instead, they sent messengers, shadowy figures with hidden agendas. Coolio said he experienced strange, uncomfortable requests that seemed designed to push him into dark corners of the industry just to get a song approved. He called it out directly, hinting that this manipulation went all the way up the chain, even towards what he believed was the Illuminati. He found it suspicious that these powerful people never came forward themselves, but used these shady emissaries to demand disturbing actions, forcing him into a choice: stay silent or speak up and face the consequences. Coolio revealed that the things he was asked to do were so disturbing he could hardly believe that's what Hollywood demanded to stay on top. He couldn't bring himself to go along with it. "I saw it as inhuman," he said, adding he'd never do such things. Rejecting their requests felt like the right move, not just for himself, but as a stand for the industry. But his refusal came at a steep price. Hollywood's elite, he claimed, went all out to ruin him, using every tactic to destroy his reputation. Things took a turn for the worse when Coolio was arrested at Los Angeles airport, accused of possessing illegal substances. According to him, he had no idea a pipe or other banned items were even in his bag. He swore he'd never put something like that in his luggage, especially among his everyday belongings. When the police found the items, he immediately said, "That's not mine." But their response was odd. They searched the exact bag that had the substances, almost as if they knew what they'd find.
Shit started happening to me. Went to jail for some bullshit. Got convicted. Well, not necessarily convicted, but because I didn't do no time, no real time, but little shit started happening.
Coolio explained, "I've never been stupid enough to keep substances with my personal things, like my wires and Xbox." Yet, despite his protests, the airport police didn't believe him. He even asked for a DNA test to prove he had nothing to do with the substances, reasoning, "If it's mine, my DNA will be on it." But the officers dismissed his request, claiming they don't conduct DNA tests in such cases. Ironically, before Coolio became a famous rapper, he worked as a security guard at an airport. He knew exactly how tight those checks were, and how quickly guards could spot anything suspicious in a bag. In fact, he'd been on Celebrity Big Brother back in 2009, so he wasn't new to the spotlight or to public scrutiny. The idea that he'd put something illegal in his own bag, knowing it would be found, just didn't add up. Coolio was far from reckless. He knew better than anyone how airport security worked. Determined to prove his innocence, Coolio offered to pay for the test himself, just to clear his name and show he wasn't who they accused him of being. Still, his efforts fell short. Despite all this, Coolio was charged and faced a 3-year probation sentence for substance possession and gun possession, a conviction that he believed was part of a larger plan to silence him and tarnish his reputation. As part of the plea deal that kept him out of jail, Coolio had to complete 45 days of community service. Even though the charges against him left his reputation in ruins, he was determined to clear his name. He pointed out a harsh truth: once a rumor spreads, people tend to believe it, whether it's true or not. In a twist during his trials, it was eventually proven that he wasn't involved in any weapon possession. Coolio shared his relief in an interview saying, "It was a misunderstanding. I don't support firearms, legal or illegal." Thanks to his lawyers, he was able to continue his work, though his struggles didn't end there. For the substance possession charge, he was sentenced to 10 months in jail, along with a mandatory substance rehabilitation. Coolio believed these punishments were consequences for refusing to bow down to Hollywood's elite. He hinted this was only the tip of the iceberg and that much darker stories were lurking behind the scenes. But he was torn between speaking out and protecting his family. "There's so much I want to tell people," he admitted, "but I'm scared. I have grandchildren. I have kids." In this candid interview, Coolio's fear was palpable. He chose to stay silent to protect his loved ones, but he was convinced there were unsettling forces working to manipulate artists, using questionable tactics to maintain control. Yet as soon as Coolio began speaking out, he started receiving death threats.
I do have a fear of them hurting my family. So I'm quiet about certain things. I don't talk about everything I know because I don't want nobody in my family to be hurt.
The situation escalated, and in a tragic end, he was found dead not long after his initial revelations. According to friends, Coolio had come over to hang out, but after going to the bathroom, he never returned. Concerned, his friends went to check on him and found him lying on the floor, lifeless. Paramedics determined that Coolio, the Grammy-winning rapper known for hits like Gangsta's Paradise, had suffered a severe heart attack. The news of his passing at age 59 sent shockwaves through the music world, but it wasn't entirely surprising to those who'd heard him speak out in his final years. Before his death, Coolio, whose real name was Artist Leon Ivy Jr., had become increasingly vocal about the disturbing power dynamics in Hollywood. He alleged that a gay mafia of influential figures was controlling black artists, forcing them into situations they couldn't refuse if they wanted their careers to survive. In another interview, Coolio revealed troubling details, warning that if artists didn't play along, they could face being blacklisted or worse. His claims shed light on the darker side of fame, hinting that high-profile figures like Diddy and JayZ held a particular influence. Coolio described them as monsters who maintained control over the industry through manipulation and intimidation. Rumors about secret parties, exploitative contracts, and coercive tactics had floated around the hip-hop world for years. Artists spoke in hushed tones of freak-off parties and other events that seemed designed to humiliate and control them, ensuring their loyalty. For a long time, these claims seemed far-fetched, but as more individuals stepped forward, the shadowy influence of Hollywood's elite is becoming harder to ignore. Coolio's chilling words resonate louder than ever as the veil over these secrets began to lift. To fully grasp the alleged influence of the so-called gay mafia, let's look at the career and controversy surrounding one of hip-hop's most powerful figures. Diddy, for decades, dominated the music industry, producing hit after hit and building an empire. However, in recent months, his reputation has been overshadowed by scandals and legal troubles that have kept him in the headlines, often for reasons that have little to do with his music. One of the latest allegations against Diddy comes from music producer Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones, who claims that Diddy and his son Justin were involved in a shooting incident in 2022. According to Lil Rod, this wasn't just a random event, but something they allegedly tried to cover up. The incident reportedly occurred during a writers and producers camp at Chalice Recording Studio in Los Angeles, where a 30-year-old man named G was allegedly shot in the abdomen and hip. What makes this even more unsettling is that, according to Lil Rod, G has since disappeared. Lil Rod says the shooting happened in a bathroom within the studio where Diddy, Justin, and G had gone just before shots were fired. He claimed that he was close enough to hear the gunfire, and he feared for his life in that moment. When he rushed to help, Lil Rod says he found G badly wounded and bleeding. Attempting to stabilize him, Lil Rod applied pressure to G's wounds and called for an ambulance, doing everything he could to assist. Meanwhile, Diddy and Justin allegedly left the area, retreating to another part of the studio while G was left struggling. What's even more shocking is that, according to Lil Rod, Diddy allegedly instructed him to lie to the police about the shooting incident. The lawsuit claims that Diddy told Lil Rod to tell officers that G had been shot outside the studio in a drive-by shooting, which was far from the truth. When the Los Angeles Police Department arrived at the scene, it became clear that the shooting did not occur near the studio, and they quickly began to question the validity of Diddy's narrative. Diddy's lawyer, Sean Hawley, issued a statement asserting that neither Diddy nor Justin was anywhere near the scene of the crime and that they were completely unaware of what had happened until after the incident. Therefore, they weren't even interviewed by the police. But the troubling allegations don't stop there. Lil Rod also accused Diddy of inappropriate behavior, claiming that Diddy frequently essayed him and would often lace drinks with narcotics, sometimes serving them to younger individuals. Lil Rod isn't alone in speaking out. In the past, rapper T.I. made headlines when rumors circulated that he had revealed some of Diddy's darkest secrets. According to these whispers, T.I. claimed that Diddy hosted secret parties where he filmed men engaging in inappropriate activities. These allegations align closely with what Lil Rod reported, which stated that Diddy allegedly forced him to record hours of illegal and incriminating footage. Lil Rod's report paints a chilling picture of Diddy's behavior, highlighting a pattern of where he would shift from making grand promises to issuing brutal threats. One moment, Diddy would offer Lil Rod the world, presenting a glamorous lifestyle filled with opportunities. The next moment, he would turn menacing, threatening to inflict physical harm. According to the allegations, Mr. Combs was not shy about his threats, going so far as to say he would eat Mr. Jones's face, and even suggested he was willing to harm Lil Rod's mother if it meant getting what he wanted. This erratic behavior indicates a deeply troubling mindset, where intimidation is used as a tool to maintain control. What makes this situation even more alarming is that this kind of disturbing behavior isn't just isolated to Lil Rod. Numerous stories have surfaced about other artists who have faced similar pressures, adding to the unsettling narrative surrounding Diddy and his alleged actions. As we mentioned earlier, one of the most notable artists who encountered such threats was none other than Coolio. The parallels between Lil Rod's accusations and Coolio's past warnings are striking. Coolio frequently mentioned being threatened with cancellation, a kind of professional death sentence, if he didn't conform to the expectations of the industry elite. Now, with Lil Rod detailing Diddy's threats to destroy his career if he didn't comply, it's impossible not to connect the dots. The belief that Diddy is a key player in a powerful circle within the music industry is gaining traction, especially as more artists come forward with their stories of intimidation and manipulation. Diddy's troubling behavior appears to extend beyond just Lil Rod and Coolio. Many artists in the industry have hinted at a culture of fear, where the consequences of speaking out or resisting authority could be severe. Comedian Cat Williams has also shared his own shocking encounter with Diddy, which adds another layer to the disturbing narrative surrounding the powerful figures in the entertainment industry. Recently, Williams made headline when he disclosed that Diddy had attempted to lure him with an astonishing offer of over $50 million to attend his infamous freak-off parties. But these weren't just your average gatherings. They were wild, chaotic events where Diddy allegedly sought complete control over the attendees, including their bodies.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no.
He went on to explain that Diddy was known for wanting to exert power over people, and Williams had to firmly say no to these advances. His refusal was not merely about money, it was about standing up for his values and preserving his self-respect. Adding to the gravity of his statement, Cat Williams also shared a troubling experience with Harvey Weinstein, the notorious movie producer infamous for numerous essay scandals. Williams revealed that Weinstein explicitly demanded intimate favors in exchange for movie roles, saying he offered to suck my in front of all the people at my agency. This chilling encounter highlights the pervasive culture of exploitation that exists in Hollywood. Despite the immense pressure and the potential career boost that could come from accepting such a proposition, Cat Williams stood his ground and flatly refused. He was unwilling to compromise his morals or dignity, even when faced with the allure of a prominent role in a major film. Even Keno Beats revealed about 5 years ago in the industry, you have to make real sacrifices to reach the top. Many now say these words didn't age well, especially considering the mounting lawsuits and controversy surrounding Diddy. Keno's statement, once seen as just part of the industry's rumor mill, is now viewed with a new seriousness as more unsettling allegations continue to emerge.
You make real sacrifices. And yeah, bro, like that's the number one thing. Make sacrifices. If I could drop a gem or anything, I say make sacrifices, because that's what a lot of folks is scared to make sacrifices. Like, they say they want to make it, but nobody wants to make a sacrifice to make it.
While Diddy's legal team has denied all accusations against him, public opinions isn't as easily swayed. With Lil Rod, Coolio, and Cat Williams sharing similar stories of threats, control, and manipulation, it's becoming harder to dismiss the possibility that Diddy might be part of a darker, hidden network in the industry. As we mentioned earlier, speaking out about these powerful figures often comes with severe risks, and for some, it might even mean life or death. Coolio's sudden passing in 2022 shocked fans around the world, but many in conspiracy circles believe his death wasn't a mere accident. Coolio had dared to talk about the things the industry might not want the public to know. His life, like those of Tupac and Biggie, ended tragically and unexpectedly, making some wonder if he was silenced for what he knew. Although Coolio's death was quietly buried, looking back at his warnings reveals they might be more significant now than ever. With fresh accusations against Diddy and JayZ, some are starting to connect the dots between the alleged gay mafia control and Coolio's death. Then there's JayZ, whose journey from the streets to becoming a billionaire has always carried a mysterious shadow. DeHaven, JayZ's former associate, has long claimed that JayZ was more than just a street hustler. He was a kingpin, controlling a vast substance distribution network. According to DeHaven, JayZ's influence extended beyond Brooklyn, reaching into the highest ranks of Hollywood and the music world, where he allegedly became a go-to supplier for some of entertainment's most famous figures. DeHaven suggested that JayZ's operation wasn't just big, but it was strategically powerful, with Jay holding control over a huge portion of substances circulating in the streets. Rumors swirl that JayZ's connections to Hollywood's elite fed a hidden substance problem among the industry's biggest stars. Some say it's no coincidence that countless celebrities with ties to JayZ also struggled with addiction. In the world of hip-hop, where we've lost legends like Tupac, DMX, and countless others to substance addiction, a shadowy influence seems to loom over these tragedies. Many believe that unseen forces fed and control these addictions, and some point the finger directly at one of hip-hop's most influential figures, JayZ. And the fact that JayZ's mysterious mistress reportedly died from an aneurysm truly raises some questions. Even Jaguar Wright once spoke about how powerful elites allegedly have access to substance that can cause symptoms similar to pneumonia or mimic a heart attack, making deaths appear natural. According to her, this is why figures like JayZ and others have avoided direct links to many suspicious deaths.
They have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
Today, as headlines resurface about Diddy's wild freak-off parties and JayZ's alleged role in these exploitative practices, Coolio's warnings resonate more than ever. His mysterious death is now viewed through a different lens. Was he taken out because he was close to exposing something bigger? Some believe his final message lives on, casting a light on the shadowy powers that control Hollywood and the music industry alike. With rising stories about a so-called gay mafia exerting a control hold over black entertainers, it's no wonder that Coolio felt the need to speak out. He might be gone, but his warnings remain. A stark reminder of the dark forces some claim are behind the music we love. Coolio stood up to those who have allegedly held the industry in their grip for decades, and while his story has ended, the questions his death raised linger on. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Coolio might have been another sacrifice to keep things quiet for the elites? Could these powerful figures be pulling strings behind the scenes, hiding in plain sight? Comment below and let us know what you think. While we wait for more updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos for more deep dives. See you there!